Boys and girls of every age, would you like to see something strange? Head to the Palladium in the NYC on Weekend's End as we approach Halloween. For things both foul and fair invade New York, Manhattan's Times Square. Palladium, to a sold-out Palladium we go to see Pudaresu put on a show. You will get no tricks, only treats. When New Japan tomorrow night presents a Rumble on 44th Street. Okay, I'll admit, the poem kind of sucked. It was on the fly, okay? It was sucked. I was doing it on the fly, improv, okay? Sue me. Regardless, New Japan presents Rumble on 44th Street tomorrow night from the sold-out Palladium in Manhattan. Let's run down this card. Opening match, or what I think is going to open it, is a Stardom match, which is a Joshi promotion out in Japan that has a working relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling. The Cosmic Angels, Mina Shirakawa and Waka Tsukiyama, take on Kylie Ray and Tiara James. Now, out of these four, I'm only slightly familiar with Kylie Ray. Based on that assumption, I'm going to go with Ray and James. As again, I've never really followed Stardom. The only Joshi promotion in Japan that I do follow is unfortunately under the umbrella of Cyberfight, the company that owns New Japan's biggest wrestling rival, Pro Wrestling Noah. The promotion in question is TJPW, Tokyo Joshi Pro. But even then, it's very sporadic. I hop onto my Wrestle Universe account to follow that company. That said, I'm going to go with Kylie Ray and Tiara James. I'm probably going to get this one wrong. Next up, a tag team grudge match. Representing Chaos, Rocky Romero and Yo. Representing the House of Torture, which is the subgroup of Bullet Club, Yujiro, Takahashi, and Sho. And unfortunately, with Dick Togo and Evil over in Japan, Sho and Yujiro have to go this one alone. That doesn't mean that's going to stop them from trying to cheat. That being said, the storyline is this. Rocky took both Sho and Yo under his wings in 2017 when they were on excursion. He repackaged them and brought them into Chaos as Roppongi 3K. 5 reigns as IWGP Junior Tag Champs, only 2 defenses. But last year, things fell apart as Yo just was lacking confidence and Sho was getting fed up with it. During the Super Junior Tag League, Sho double-crossed Yo. And then it Wrestle Grand Slam at MetLife. Sho's transformation from High Voltage into the Murder Machine was complete when he joined Evil, Yujiro, and Dick Togo as part of the House of Torture. Rocky is looking to beat some sense into his former pupil, into the pupil that ditched him. And I am going to be blunt. Anyone who watched my Dominion preview and predictions with Mega Man NG that we did back in June will know I hate what Sho has become since joining the House of Torture last year. He has regressed from a wrestling prodigy to nothing more than a guy who doesn't give a fuck about fair play or even bothering to moderate how often he cheats. And it's got on my last nerve to the point that if Sho were to come down here for a New Japan House show, I'd be on the brink of killing him or chewing him up and spitting him out for what he's damned himself to become. Him and Evil both I would chew up and spit out. Or I would intervene, steal the wrench the shirt with a wrench inside it, clock Dick Togo in the head with it, then strangle him to death with the carrot, break Yujiro's pimp stick, and steal Yujiro's pimp stick, and break it in the same way they broke Hiroki Goto's Sakajo's staff. Essentially, take away every one of the House of Torture's little toys. Now, I don't know how this is going to pan out, but I'll go on a limb and say Rocky and Yo win this one. You think on paper, it's fairly even with Evil distracted, with no Evil or Dick Togo, as both are focused on Evil being in the semifinals of the World Television Title Tournament. He faces Zack Sabre Jr. Next Saturday in Osaka. Next up, six-man tag action. Shota Umino, Homicide, and Wheeler Yuta versus Team Filthy, consisting of Filthy Tom Lawlor and the West Coast Wrecking Crew of Royce, Issacs, and Jarrell Nelson. I'm going to take Umino, Homicide, and Yuta to win this one, for some odd reason. Next up, Strong Openweight Championship Challenge match. Openweight Championship Challenge. Fred Rosser will defend the Strong Openweight Championship. For those who don't know Fred Rosser, FKA Darren Young. He will defend the title against, well, we don't know who it's going to be. It's an open challenge. But then again, New Japan Strong's no stranger to this thing in the past. Case in point, the past year or so before he went back to Japan with a new visa, Jay White's US of J Openweight Challenge. Who do I take to win this? I'm going to go Rosser to retain the championship, regardless of who he goes up against. Next up, in his comeback match, Clark Connors, the Wild Rhino, returning from back surgery, goes up against the King, Minoru Suzuki. Connors asked this himself. He wanted to take on the toughest opponent he could find when he got back. And he said, fuck it, give me Suzuki. Not being very subtle, and you'd think on paper, Minoru the King would get him killed. Would kill him. But will Connor get his trophy, the biggest trophy kill in his career? Or will Suzuki show the reason why most species of rhino have been rendered extinct? So my pick to win, and trust me, if I went against him, he'd fucking kill me. Minoru Suzuki. Expect the Palladium to chant loud and proud, sing aloud and proud, Kaze ni nare, regardless of what happens. Believe me, Suzuki would kill me if I went against him. Strong Openweight Tag Title match. It's a triple threat. Representing the LA Dojo, the DKC and Kevin Knight. Representing Impact Wrestling, the Motor City Machine Guns. And I'll be right back. Grab something. And representing my favorite faction in New Japan, the United Empire, my boys, the Aussie Arrow, Kyle Fletcher, and Big Dunkzilla, Mark Davis, the inaugural current reign and defending Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions, Aussie Open. Let's not kid ourselves. DKC and Kevin Knight not win this. Nor do I think the Guns are going to win this. The Guns will win this either. So, with all that said, and considering that Aussie Open will be making their New Japan proper debut next Saturday, throw the crowns up. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Davis and Fletcher are retaining the strong Openweight tag team titles. Next up, for the Stardom SWA World Championship, Mayu Iwatani defends against KiLynn King. Never heard of her? I'll go Iwatani to retain. Now let's get to the main event. First, a New York City street fight for the provisional KOPW 2022 title. Shingo Takagi defends against El Phantasmo. This all stems from Phantasmo defeating Takagi in the G1 Climax, basically playing spoiler and preventing Shingo from winning the D block. And then calling himself Shingo's daddy. This led to a Who's My Daddy match at Declaration of Power won by Shingo, which meant that Phantasmo had to resign to contrition and shame of calling Shingo his daddy, wearing a t-shirt that said Shingo's my daddy. But then Shingo took it a little too far by putting a pacifier in Phantasmo's mouth, which got Phantasmo mad, and he demolished the provisional trophy. Shingo's tried to fix it, but it's been smashed again. Seriously, why not just make a new one? Now it's going to be resolved in a street fight. Shingo wanted a last daddy standing match, or a last man standing match. Phantasmo wanted a street fight. Ultimately, the people wanted what Phantasmo wanted. Give them a street fight. Personally, between the two choices, I also voted for the street fight, and that's what we're gonna get. My pick to win: El Phantasmo. He's gonna be much more crafty. He's gonna be more devious. He's more used to this sort of scenario. Shingo's more of a brawler, and while he could use weapons more often than not, Shingo, bound by that code of ethics, he's not willing to play that dirty. He's not willing to play dirty, despite the fact he is a part of Los Ingobernables de Japón and the only member of LIJ that's got gold on him. And has been consistent with gold in the past 4 years since joining the group. One-time stint as junior heavyweight tag champ with Bushi. 2-time I'm Never Openweight champion, IWGP World Heavyweight champion, KOPW Provisional champion. But would I be surprised if Shingo somehow wins this? Not really. But I'll go Phantasmo. Finally, the main event. In Tag Team Warfare, Kazuchika Okada and the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada and the Mad King Eddie Kingston team up to take on Record Juice Robinson, who I believe is going to challenge Will Ospreay for the IWGP US Heavyweight title at Wrestle Kingdom, and the Switchblade Jay White, who is the current IWGP World Heavyweight champion. This is going to be a tough pick. I'm going to take White and Robinson. Mostly because I do expect Kingston to stab Okada in the back. Probably. Given how much of a master manipulator Jay is in terms of luring people to his side, or basically convincing people that he's always in the right, cases and points. Kicking the GOD out of Bullet Club February to March. Bringing in Juice Robinson in May. Recruiting Ace Austin in June. There's a reason he calls himself the catalyst of professional wrestling, and that's his ability to manipulate and persuade people to his side. Will it work in this situation? Given how mentally unstable Eddie Kingston is, I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Hence, breathe with the Switchblade, Bullet Club for life in this match. I take White and Robinson to win. Though will I be shocked if Okada and Kingston win? I might be, but probably not. I mean, this is to build up their match in the match between White and Okada coming up in the Tokyo Dome in about, let's see, today's the 27th, 4, 30, 65, 69 days. So in about 10 weeks. If I was wondering what's going on in the foreground, I'm watching an old Iron Chef episode on Tubi. Beyond that, I don't have much else to say. Those are my picks for tomorrow night's Rumble on 44th Street show. It'll be available on New Japan World for $20, for 20 and a half bucks if you have a New Japan subscription. Yeah, they're doing these pay-per-view stints for some reason or another. And it should be available on Fight TV, but I don't know if it is. If it will be. Leave a comment, smash the like, sub to the channel. Mets2128 signing out. Goodbye. Good night. Bang. And cut.